Bite-sized and bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks. Inspiration coming at you like a river flowing. Women paving paths, look at them going. Bite-sized and bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits.
Welcome, welcome. I'm Erin.
And I'm Tammy.
And this is Bite
Bite
Sized
Sized and Bossy. See?
I went right into it this time. Did you notice that? Like
you
I
did
just like
good.
rolled right in. So
And I was a little behind, but look at me. I'm quick.
I'm getting better though. I take coaching well. Well, we have a great guest today. We're really excited for Abby Lorden. Welcome, Abby.
Woo, woo.
Abby is the vice
Hello,
president.
ladies.
I'm so excited to have you. You are the vice president of hospitality technology and the co-founder of RTN. So that's like a very long title. Like I don't even know if it fits.
Hold up. That's just a whole lot. So we have to break each one of those down. What the hell is hospitality technology? What does that mean? What is it?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely great question. So first, thanks for having me on the program, ladies. I have a lot of respect for both of you and what you do, and I'm excited to chat today. So hospitality technology is a B2B media entity where we started as a print magazine. And, you know, like many B2B publishers, we focused more heavily on digital, and we don't even do a print edition anymore, although I still have some of those incredible copies in my own archives, and they're fun to pull out. So hospitality technology is a B2B media entity. We do research, editorial content, all the things you would expect to turn to a publisher for. We also do events, and we're most known for MURTEC. We cover the restaurant market and the hotel market. So we have a pretty cool lens of general guest trends. What do guests expect when they're going to restaurants and or hotels? And we get a cool way to kind of predict a little bit in what we might see in restaurants based on some of the things that we're learning from the hotel sector. So that's what hospitality technology is. And as the publisher, I sort of am responsible for what we do.
I always think of the publisher as the person who wants the money,
Oh my goodness.
the business person. But what is RTN? That
So-
was just a big thing in your title. And I think it's important to set up our conversation today.
Yeah. So RTN stands for Restaurant Technology Network. It is a membership community where we are just about 6 years old. And the membership community really was a back of napkin dream, an idea for me for many years, probably for honestly 10 years before we launched it. But the reason that RTN exists, the reason that we founded it was to create a place where the restaurant industry, technology solution providers, and the restaurants that they serve could come together and work on standards where collaboration is good for everyone and helps to fuel innovation faster so that these tech companies and restaurants can spend less time agreeing on things like syntax and semantics and more time doing the fun work that is really exciting. So RTN has evolved a lot since that first dream and vision, but that's really what is at the core of the community.
Wait, so you launched RTN then you said 6 years. So like basically right before COVID.
I mean, yeah, that's
Sounds
a true
brilliant.
statement.
So you were like, let's create this whole network. Also, we can save the world right now because you had just created this group of people to come together to solve technology.
Yeah. You know, Erin, that's you bringing me back, right? I'm having flashbacks of memories of some of those early, that like early 12-month window of RTN. You know, we were a baby. We were probably just about a year old when COVID hit. And honestly, that first year of our community, we just held a lot of like pop-up SWAT calls for the market where people were getting together saying, how are you turning your parking lot into you're pivoting your table management system to be a parking stall management system. How are you doing it? And we were just hosting those sorts of just like rap sessions for the industry over the first, the incredible timeliness of that was remarkable. And I think a lot of people developed a personal affinity for the work that RTN does because it gave them a safe, soft landing place when they needed somewhere to gather and share ideas during what was, we all know, a really difficult time for many businesses.
Well, I have a comment here because of course I do. Abby, you are a woman. Newsflash. how the hell did you end up in this spot? Because every single IT person I feel like I see at these conferences is all dudes. Not
Yeah.
all of them. So how did you end up here? Like, what's your background? How did you end up
Yeah.
in this space?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's kind of cool. So my background is communications, and my early opportunities in my career were tied to marketing and public relations roles. And then I happenstance took an editorial position. At the time, was a pretty junior level editorial position more than 20 years ago. And it was to be like an editor for, I think it was an associate editor for hospitality technology and another technology, B2B technology brand that was published by the same company at the time. That other B2B brand was focused on the reseller network. So I got a crash course in technology across many sectors, because that reseller brand was focused on everything from healthcare to retail, certainly hospitality, CPG, government. And I had this really cool exposure to the way that technology was changing many different industries. And then I was also doing work as an associate editor, kind of wearing hats for both brands, and pretty quickly started to develop an affinity for the food service and hotel market. And over time took on more responsibility, moved eventually into the editor-in-chief role at Hospitality Technology. And I did that for 10 years before I took over the business side of the brand. And I think what's really where I have a unique lens, and it's part of what gave me the insight to launch RTN, is that I'm not mired in technology every day, right? I am listening to executives from all sorts of different facets of the industry talk about their problems and what they'd like to see happen. So I get to hear QSRs and full service restaurants and hotel operators from luxury brands and hotel operators from limited service brands and everything in between tell me what they're dealing with and how they're fixing it, and ask me who do you know? And then I'm always hearing from the technology companies. And so I have, where I may not have the technical depth, I have an unbelievable broad swath of market vision, right? And that allowed, that actually helped to fuel the launch of RTN.
Well, and it sounds like you did a tremendous job knowing what your strengths are, which it sounds like are connecting the dots, connecting people, uh, listening, and like assessing what needs to happen and what would benefit. And then that communications angle, right? The publishing part of it. And so when you saw a need, it sounds like you said, yeah, I don't have necessarily a full background in all this, but I see a big need for this. And you know what I am good at? Connecting all the dots. So that, I mean, kudos to you. That's impressive. Really impressive.
Yeah.
So wait, does this mean though that this is your first job and you're still in the same company in your first job?
So that it could, but it actually doesn't. No, I did work with a PR agency for a while. I also had a really fun stint with AAA. Everyone knows them as the American Automobile Association. Believe it or not, I spent time when I worked with AAA, which was an awesome group to learn a lot about media and publishing. They had a membership magazine, right? So I got cut teeth early on with membership communities with them. But I also was a certified child passenger safety technician, which is yet another mouthful, but that meant that I was the lady who knew how to install car seats. And this was well before I had any concept of even having a family of my own. And man, people would be like, oh, can you fix my kid's car seat? I got that question all the time. So yes, I do know my way around installing a occupant protection device.
Was that like an Amway type of sales thing back in the day? Because a friend of mine, her mom did the same thing. She was like, I can install your baby seat.
No,
And
like you have to, you're supposed to like show up at the fire department. Like when I first had my first baby, they were like,
hold on. Can I borrow a baby?
oh my God. So you can go to the fire department and see the guy. Stop it.
So you actually,
babies for you.
You get certified by the National Highway Traffic Safety Institute. It's so a big, kind of a big deal. Police, fire departments, and AAA. And I fell into that last category.
But like you
random
actually,
facts about Abby for 500, Erin.
You are supposed to, like, when you have a baby, and I didn't know this, right? Like I went to install my own and was like, how do you do it? And that's also when you learn with your first baby that you're not supposed to like buy a resold baby car seat, right? Like, and there's all these like rules on it. And like, I'm still seeing, like, when I get on an airplane, every car seat that rolls on that airplane, they're like, can you show that this is airline approved and for fun? And like, I'm like, where were we supposed to learn these rules and not just like, just show up at any fire station and have the guys come out and install it? You're like, I felt like I was not prepared for that. And I'll be honest, we definitely, I should never be allowed to install anyone's car seat, let alone my own.
I would second that.
Well, the good news is,
I've
for
seen her
anyone who
driving.
has a child that needs a car seat today that is listening, it has gotten a lot easier. The hardware, that the way that vehicles are manufactured today, they use different systems to click it in. You don't have to work with seatbelts nearly as much as you used to have to when I was doing it. So technology and progress.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many times I drove around with like because I learned that the baby had to face backwards and all this stuff.
Mhm.
You're like trying to reach back there to find the pacifier while you're driving to stick in the baby's mouth. Like there were, we can go into parenting stuff like that all day long.
Well,
but
actually, so are you a parent? Like, what's your deal? Like, are you married, kids? Tell us what's going on in your life.
For sure. So, yes, I am married. We are, how many years? I think 13. Yes, 13 years married. And my daughter turned 10 over the summer. And so she is absolutely a mini me. And is getting more and more like me all the time, which is just kind of like wonderful and shocking and horrifying and at the same time, right?
So does she want to be like in publishing, like what editor? What does she want to do?
She is still very much clay that is just exploring and trying things. She's taken up flute and she's loving that, which is cool to see. But I'll brag on her. She was like top scorer in her class for math and top scorer in her class for language arts reading. We just got her parent teacher conferences last week. So she's doing great.
That's amazing. 4th grade?
Fifth grade.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Well, Erin has a boy that's about her age.
Yeah, I've just turned 10. He's in 4th grade, but boys and girls, 4th, 5th grade. I mean,
very different.
To be fair, boys and girls at my age are very different on maturity level, let alone 4th and 5th grade. So it is shocking. But the flute, I mean, that, to be fair, is better than the recorder, which I have horror story after horror story about, like, why we still send kids home with a recorder.
Wait a minute. Did that happen to you? Did you play a recorder? No?
Yeah. Didn't you?
I mean, I did. They still do. She does have a recorder. I can verify they're still sending them home with a recorder.
Oh my
I
God.
still have recorders like in this house from the kids.
I don't even
Did
know
you
what
not
one
play
is.
A recorder?
I played the flute.
No, but like before the instrument came the recorder, where you got to learn Three Blind Mice as like a 6 to 8 year old.
Yeah. No, I had to learn it here. I drove my parents nuts. They made me sit outside. In the freezing cold.
Holy cow. I mean, I've never been so happy when band is over than when these kids decide to take up an instrument. But that's amazing. And it sounds like you've created a very, very intelligent and strong child there.
Yeah, she's gives me a lot to be excited about. I can share a funny moment of like blending motherhood and work.
Please.
The day that this goes back a few years ago, probably 6-ish years ago. So she would have been about 4, right? And it was a springtime. I'm going to say, actually, I'm going to say winter because it was just before MURTEC that year, which happens every year in March in Las Vegas. And I was standing in my bathroom and I was getting ready for my business trip, probably flying to MURTEC, getting ready for my business trip, doing all of the things. And I heard her go running down the hallway, donning a cape, and yelled, "I am the queen of MURTEC." And I had 2 thoughts in that moment. One thought was, oh my gosh, I talk about MURTEC way too much. If she is saying that at 4 years old, she's running down the hallway. That was thought number 1.
But with the
thought number 2 was, oh hell no, I am the queen of MURTEC.
Yeah. Well, that's so great because in my head, the marketer in me immediately went, how cool if you went to MURTEC and like an opening video was like her running down the hall and then it pans to like you running down the hall or you guys next to each other and like how we can create for the new up and coming generation. Like I think that's really endearing and beautiful. And the fact that she knew that you had this job. But you brought up just a really great thing right now. You said, I was about ready to fly. She was 4 years old, flying for this business trip. I'm guessing you travel a good amount. How did you handle it? Right? This beautiful child that relies on you to continue to grow and evolve, and you're going, mommy has to go.
Yeah. So we, my husband and I had the reverse of what you think of as the typical arrangement in our household. For a long time, I went to work and he stayed home, and as was the at-home parent and the chief operating officer at our house. He actually came through he cut his teeth in the food service industry. He went to culinary school, worked in restaurants.
So he can cook for
when
you.
we met.
And he's staying home. You hit
he's
the
a great cook.
jackpot over there.
He's a great cook. So he worked in restaurants when we said, like, let's try this parenting thing. Let's see how that works. And it was honestly like we were about 12 months in to that with a newborn, right? She was about a year old and he was still working at the time. He was managing a pretty well-respected upscale steakhouse in our community where we lived at the time. And that guy was burning the candle at both ends. Because then, those of us that know the food service industry know when you are working as a manager, you are there early and you are there late, and you don't get a lot of time off. Mother's Day, Father's Day, those are like busy days in the business,
and he has
right?
a brand new baby at home too.
And a steakhouse, that means he was there late night and
He was
Fridays
there
and
late,
Saturdays. That's a lot.
Yeah. And we lived in Bear Country in northern New Jersey at the time, and he'd come home smelling like a side of beef. It was like, for so many reasons, it was dangerous. But we made the decision when she was about a year old that he would stay home, and that really did enable me to be able to focus on the things that I wanted to do as a mother and as the financial contributor to our family. And it's only been within the last 6 months that he went back to work. We reached a point where it was a good fit. And so he has been able to re-enter the workforce. It's an adjustment, I'm not going to lie. But we're figuring it out every day.
Well, I only have one question. Is he still in the restaurant space?
Food service, but not in restaurants, because that's just a really tough schedule, right? We all know how hard it can be when you are trying to raise a family. So he works for our local school department as a manager within the food and nutrition department for food and nutrition for our schools. And it's ended up to be a really nice fit, right? Because then he gets to have summer off and holidays off.
Yes.
And where do you live now? Because you said you were in Bear Country. So
So we spent I'm from New Jersey. My husband and I lived there most of our lives. And then about 6 years ago, we relocated to Maryland, and I am about an hour northwest of Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, listen, I've got to ask you some questions as the queen of MURTEC. So for our audience and people that haven't gone before, MURTEC stands for the Multi-Unit Restaurant Technology Show. And Abby, correct me if I'm wrong, but this thing's been around for 30 years?
You're absolutely right, Tammy.
Right.
Well, this past year was our 30th anniversary of MURTEC. Yeah.
Yep, I remember seeing that. And so give us a little bit of like, what is MURTEC, right? Because I know we've got some exciting news that we want to share as well. But like for people that are listening, a lot of women never been to MURTEC. Tell them what it is and maybe why they should go, even if they're not in IT.
Right. It's a great question. Well, so the name, as you said, stands for Multi-Unit Restaurant Technology Conference. So what that really means is we're talking about typically 5 units and above, but honestly, we're not super picky. The idea of this is you are a multi-unit operator. You might be a franchise operator. You might be part of an independent brand. You might be part of a corporate flag, corporate brand, and you have some responsibility for technology. And to your question, Tammy, about if I'm not in tech or I'm not familiar with it, why might I want to try it out? Ultimately, we know that technology is now touching every transaction, every interaction, and that is changing even more with the influx of AI solutions into all spaces, certainly food service included. So MURTEC is it's a 3-day conference that is focused on helping technology executives and individuals who have direct responsibility and who are influencers in the technology buying process at these restaurant brands, helping them get answers, get ideas, connect with each other, get education, and partner with technology companies. We have exhibit space. We have a conference, lots of opportunities for workshops and connections and fun, right? We make sure we have a good dose of fun too.
Well, fun, because where is it?
It is in Las Vegas.
Ooh, it's Vegas, and it's always in March. So sometimes it coincides with like some March Madness fun.
Oh, nice.
What are the dates this year? When is it?
It's the 9th to 11th in March 2026. And we're really excited about our venue. We are going to be at Caesar's Palace in 2026. It's been a few years since we were at Caesar's Palace. But we've got some great space there. It's a really nice home for MURTEC, and I think we'll be there for a couple of years. And the space that we have, we love. It's the ballroom is a great size for our exhibit hall to make sure that we have just enough space for people to find each other, but not too much space, right? That's important. And we're really pleased with the layout of the floor plan that we've been able to put together for 2026. But we've got some cool new elements to the program for MURTEC that we can certainly spend some time chatting about. Some of it is like new and exciting news that's going to be kind of like you heard it here first.
Yep.
And others are just some other additions that we're making.
Well, I want to hear something first. I want to be the first to know. What is it?
Okay,
just tell me.
Hold on.
Wait, does there have to be a drum roll? I can do a drum roll.
If we can do an effect, yeah, that's great. Are you just gonna like do it?
I was gonna go like this. No.
Okay, that works. I mean, we need a little more. But so let's see. I don't even know where to start with this thing, but I'm super excited about what is going to be changing for this year at MURTEC. And we talked a little bit about the venue, and we talked about the dates. Mm-hmm. Before we get into some of the new stuff, tell us if I want to go to just MURTEC as usual, where do I go? Who gets to go? How does a vendor go? How does an operator go?
Sure, absolutely. So MURTEC.com is the online face of the brand of the event experience. If you're a qualified restaurant operator, we'd love to have you. Now, primarily our attendees do have some influence in the technology decision-making cycle, but that, again, the purview of technology has spread so much that Marcom, digital, even operations and finance executives get value. And we see every year that attendee profile evolves to have not only the classic IT roles, but also some of these adjacent areas. So restaurant operators can register. They can come and participate in the full program. Technology partners participate through sponsorship. MURTEC is unique in that if you are a tech partner and you want to participate in MURTEC, you do sponsor. What that allows us to do is keep a healthy ratio for networking. So if you're a technology company, some conferences in this industry and other industries, you can buy a ticket and you can go and walk around as a technology company. And that it makes sense
like
for
RFDC.
Some shows.
Yep. We're going there next week. Yep.
And that makes sense for some event experiences. For MURTEC, because we are really, really focused on the ratio, right? That ratio of networking, so that everybody that's there has an opportunity to, if it's about 1,000 people, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it, right? And we want to make it as easy as possible for you to make important connections. And so technology partners attend through sponsorship. We have a lot of ways that companies can do that to make it accessible, whether you're a startup, and we have a startup program, all the way through to companies that want to have a lot of opportunity to show up with different types of activations.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Erin,
do I get to know the new news?
I was like, do you want to hear the secret now?
Yes, I want to hear the secret. Drum roll, trumpets. What? Oh my God, you're not going to tell me, are you?
No, I'm just screwing with you now because it's fun. Just to watch you squirm. So where do we start? How do we do this? Do you tell them? Do I tell them? Do you ask? Erin, you should just ask questions.
Well, why don't I share what I think I'll share first, Erin, is just a little bit about kind of the theme and what we're focused on at MURTEC 2026, right? Because that's some foundational important information. MURTEC 2026, we've themed it Connect. And, when we came back from MURTEC 2025, and honestly, every time you heard me say earlier, I get to talk to a lot of people, right? That's one of the unique aspects of the work that I do, is that I hear from people from all across the industry. And I often hear this notion of like, listen, there's no shortage of great solutions. We're a restaurant operator. There's no shortage of great solutions. We need help finding who we should talk to, right? Who is a potential right fit for us and what we do. And we don't want to be sold to. We don't want to feel like we're like, fish in a barrel walking around getting pitched all day long, because they want to use their time wisely. We hear the same thing from the supplier community. We want, like, listen, we know that a lot of restaurant operators come to MURTEC and other conferences. We don't want serendipity to happen for a lightning strike for the right person to potentially walk past our booth. We want to know that we want your help, Abby and team at MURTEC and HT, in finding the right prospects for the type of technology that we do. So we took that to heart, and everything that we're putting in place for MURTEC 2026 is focused on this theme of connect. So what does that look like? Well, it means that we're making changes to our exhibit hall. You heard me say it's a really great size. It's going to be smaller and more intimate to make it easier for people to find each other. Mm-hmm. We are also going to have really strategically thought out exhibit hall hours. So in prior years, we don't typically lock the exhibit hall to MURTEC and toss people out of the exhibit hall. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But we also have started to observe that people want to make, they want to make the best possible use of their time. In the morning, we're going to do educational sessions, and then the exhibit hall will open in the afternoon around lunchtime, and there will be time for networking in the exhibit hall. In addition to really curated hours for networking in the hall, we're also adding tours of the exhibit hall. We're super excited about this. The idea of this is that when they register for MURTEC, restaurant operators can say, I want to go on a tour and I'm interested in, and they can check the box. I'm looking for Wi-Fi. I'm looking for loyalty. Cool. I'm looking for point of sale.
Are you going to protect them from the vendors on the tour? Like, is it they're in a bubble? They're coming by.
So
don't talk to them.
Is there a guide with a flag?
Yeah.
So
is there going to be
umbrellas?
Then
bring those tours through the hall, right? The MURTEC team will say, hey, we've got a tour. You're scheduled for the 1:30 tour. We're going to take you to meet the point of sale vendors that are on the point of sale tour at 1:30. And then there's safety in numbers, right? Then that cohort of restaurant operators will spend 5 minutes at this booth. We'll spend 5 minutes at this booth. We'll spend 5 minutes at this booth. So they can go, they can hear the pitch. They can hear the questions of their peers. There's a bit of safety in numbers in that. And it allows us the opportunity to get restaurant operators who are interested in certain categories, like let us bring them to the solution providers for partnership.
I think that's great.
So we're doing that. We're going to do some one-on-one connections in a dedicated session. We've done this for the past couple of years. We're doing more
one time. And let me tell anybody that's out there listening, that one-to-one connect sessions were great.
Ooh, like a matchmaker. You're like the millionaire matchmaker.
It was exactly like matchmaking. And what was interesting was that the operators that were in the room, like they knew they were going to meet with me. They wanted to meet with Signal Flare, and it was a fantastic experience. So I would encourage anyone out there listening to
I love
do that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah. So that has been a successful aspect, and it's something that we're going to lean into even more. The idea of this is you can lead horses to water. You cannot make them drink, but you can get them really close to the edge, right? And that's kind of what we want to accomplish to the best of our ability. So we're excited about those elements. Another exciting piece of news is the MURTEC After Dark party.
Yeah. Is this the new news? Is this the new news? Wait, I don't know. Like, I don't know what Tammy's like, just ask us questions. I don't know what to ask because I don't know what the new news is.
Well, I also just would like to point out that obviously Erin and I are good friends, and we have this banter and whatever, but we do keep secrets from each other too.
Just so we're clear, I don't keep any secrets, but that's fine.
That's not true. That's not true. Are we going to fight on air?
All right, After Dark, that sounds like a rave. Are we having a rave? What are we doing?
So we're having a party. We're having fun. One of the pieces of feedback that we hear is that from restaurant operators and sponsors is, listen, we love education. The networking throughout the day is great. We all know that relationships are forged and business is done when people get to hang out again at 9:00 at night. So
I thought you were just going to say, we love education, but we want a party.
But we want a party.
That's what the operators are saying, Erin.
Yeah. So we're creating that space to make it really easy for the attendees at MURTEC to come together and hang out, find each other, and find the technology companies that are there as sponsors of MURTEC. Everybody with a MURTEC ticket is going to get into the
Where's the party?
MURTEC. It will be at the Caesars event venue. We're still fine-tuning the exact location, but it'll be easily accessible for.
I mean, they have a lot of really cool spaces, so
that's
awesome. Really cool spaces. Yeah,
I'm excited for the move back there. Well, so if I can, I'll start to tell a little bit of the story. So, At Signal Flare, we have been taking the position that we need to educate the industry on the AI revolution that is coming. Candidly, I talk to CFOs, CEOs, CMOs all the time, and there's this broad sense of what is AI and all these use cases. And we hear of these companies, the big ones, spending millions of dollars on expensive agencies, et cetera. But those are the big guys. Those are the McDonald's. Those are the Yums. But what about everybody else? And so, talking with Mike Lukianoff, our CEO, he said, I want to educate this industry. It's an industry he loves. He's been doing this for 30 years. Anyone that knows me knows I'm all about educating people as well. And so I was like, well, how do we do that? And I called my friend Abby and I said, hey, I have this idea. Like, could we do some educational content? But I think I need like a whole day because there's so many aspects of AI that we have to offer and share the industry in terms of, who do I hire? What are legal ramifications? What are all of these almost non-IT things? And Abby says to me, well, those guys are going to need help getting buy-in from their team members, right? So
Yeah.
IT wants to do this project, but they need marketing's budget or marketing's buy-in, or they need the CFO to understand what the ROI potential is, getting the CEO excited
this cliffhanger's
about it.
intense.
Right. So Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, this was the biggest yes and meeting you ever had. we are going to we're going to essentially transform the third day of MURTEC programming to be the AI Summit at MURTEC.
All right.
An entire day of programming dedicated to helping restaurant industry leaders. And honestly, quite a lot of the content will be focused on helping non-technical leaders, right? So as Tammy said, right, your CMOs and your director of operations, who they need to understand the business implications, the ethics, the use cases. They need to understand that and then work with their IT leaders to say, we got to run, we got to go and get this done. So the AI Summit at MURTEC is going to be that third day of programming. And we're really excited about it. It was an incredible fit. We have space and access and the ability to pull together people and put together great events and content and education. And we're thrilled to bring in the subject matter expertise of the team at Signal Flare AI and the relationships that they can bring to help us put together an incredible program that is putting operators first, operators forward, operators on stage, sharing stories, use cases from other industries where we can learn and go quick, right? Because the real this was interesting information that we just shared when we did our executive summit. We do a MURTEC executive summit event. So many events.
I got
we do
to go.
A smaller
really
executive
cool.
level event. We did that last week, and we all gathered in Florida, and we filled the room with a very intimate executive leadership community. And we previewed some data that we have just been collecting on the use of AI in restaurants, right? Hospitality technology did a bunch of research to understand what are restaurants and hotels doing, what are they not doing, what do they want to be doing? And the data really gave the roadmap. And it's that when we asked operators, are you using AI today? Most of them said yes, but almost all of them are using AI for marketing, right? Gen AI to create marketing copy and help tell their story.
To be fair, most people don't even know what AI is. Like we keep saying, all it is a drinking game at this point. You say the word AI, you take a drink, and like everybody's wasted, but nobody still knows what to do with it.
We could do an AI bingo at the summit just to keep it
in my head while you were
I think
talking,
we should.
I was like, at
buzzword
after dark rave, it should be like anytime AI is on the screens, like you drink and then everybody cheers and they're like AI and nobody knows why. They're just screaming AI. Like this marketing brain over here. Just so many creative ideas.
Hold on that idea, but thank you. But on that note, we actually are taking content submission ideas. And I just want to frame this up. Nobody wants to feel sold to. Everybody wants to learn. And what we are going to try to avoid is essentially a big sales pitch, right?
Yeah.
I've seen these events, and I'm not going to name names, but every piece of content on stage is because some sponsor paid for it. So you're spending your time and money to go and learn, and you're being educated on what this vendor does. And there is value in that, right? But what we're talking about here is educating the industry so that we don't end up where we were with online ordering, where it takes a pandemic to force technology adoption.
And is this for all levels?
This is for everybody. We really want the C-suite, because those are where the decisions are going to be made, and them hearing this is going to be what trickles down to the teams. And we are looking for operators to help with the education. So we did this in June. Signal Flare held an AI summit in June in New York City for a day. And we were able to get like 30 brands to show up. I think Zarek Pearson was there, Leon Devoyan, a bunch of folks in the IT space. And we took the same approach where we said, hey, who's already doing this? Like, let's let them get up and tell their story. So peer-to-peer training, right? I've heard use cases at a QSR of 300 units where they are using AI to process their financial statements and understand them faster. We've heard a use case on stage at QSR, FSR with John Asher over at Nectar Juice Bar, where he said he's like building survey response tools. So the world that we live in is going to change with the adoption of AI. And it sounds like this big nebulous thing, but I'm seeing it every day in my job where my CEO is saying, are you using Claude to do that? And I'm finding creative ways to take, just as an example, like I take the recordings that I do with the client, put them through Claude. Claude summarizes the challenges for me, and there's my proposal. Right?
I love that. I love it.
This is what we're talking about. And so we want to bring this to the industry.
I think it's amazing. I think what you guys are doing are amazing. People are going to want to reach out, I'm sure, and they can, I'm sure, go through and find all of you guys on LinkedIn. And we could talk about this all day, but I think we have to move into food for thought as much as I'd like to keep talking about this.
I know, food for thought, but I will say it's, we'll have a page on our website, signalflare.ai. And then also there'll be a page on MURTEC coming up soon where you can actually submit your content ideas or nominate people to speak on subjects, and we will entertain those. And that's why essentially the agenda isn't written, because if we write an agenda now, this is moving so fast. I mean, 2 months ago, I had idea for content that's now obsolete.
Amazing.
So anyways, super excited about it.
It is. It's really exciting. So congrats to you guys for creating such an awesome thing. All right. Food for thought. Tammy, take it away.
Oh, what's your favorite restaurant that your husband doesn't work at?
I'm blessed to live in a town that is full of independent restaurants in just outside of Frederick, Maryland. We have a place called the Surf House Island Cantina. It's kind of like if you imagine Key West had a restaurant where it's all these fun burritos and delicious, but also very islandy and foodish, and they're great. It's in Frederick, Maryland. I love it.
Awesome. Favorite book on the bookshelf right behind you?
Oh my gosh.
Is it real?
Yeah. Gosh,
what if she said no and she opened them all and they were just like empty boxes?
Right.
And we're
if it was like drugs and money. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I have a lot of favorite books. I'm reading something right now called The Starling House. That's kind of fun and spooky and very au courant for the season. Books that I would reread, probably Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Do you plan on dressing up for Halloween? And if so, what are you going to be?
Yes, we definitely dress up for Halloween in my house, and I'm going to be a witch this year.
Oh, man. I was like, oh, do we guess? Like, what are we going to go with? Right. Amazing. Hobby when you're not working outside of
yoga.
Kid.
Yeah. Yoga, a lot of yoga. It's like the one thing that I try and make time for every day. I don't do it every day, but probably 5 days a week.
What's your favorite pose?
So my favorite pose is dancer, because the balance that you develop with that is incredible.
How do you do it?
So we stand on one foot. I mean, I kind of want to demonstrate.
Yes, weird. Back up. We want you to demonstrate. Yeah.
I don't know if I can. Right. I don't know if I can.
You can.
You stand on one foot, and one hand goes out in front. And the
Mhm.
other one, I got to take my flip flop off. I think I'm in sweatpants. This is lovely. The other one comes
Oh,
out behind, right? And then you lean forward and
that
you
looks like
really extend
dancing.
all the way. So dancer is my favorite pose.
I don't even think I
But
could do that. And definitely not stand in that pose for a long time. Holy cow.
Well, I
That's
know
impressive.
we're running out of time today, because we've had so much great content, Abby. Enjoyed talking to you. But if you were going to give somebody else in the industry this chance to come on and share their story, because there are really no women podcasts in our industry, who would you nominate?
yeah, well, it would have to be my longtime work partner in crime, Angela Diffley.
I
Ooh,
love
okay.
Angela.
She and I have worked together multiple times on and off over the years. Most recently, she helped me launch RTN, and she was a part of the RTN team for probably 5 years. And then just about a year ago, she moved on to an incredible digital innovation role with Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Coca-Cola is all RTN members. They love what we're doing. Angela and I still talk all the time. And she's someone who's got her finger on the pulse of technology in the food service space. And she's also a blast to talk to. And I just consider her like my homegirl and a very good friend. So I highly recommend you chat
We
with her.
also enjoy
Yeah.
homegirls. So Angela, if you're listening, we would also like you to come on the podcast and we will be reaching out. But thank you. You have been amazing to have. I'm glad that we got to hear it here first type thing. I feel like there should be music, like the more you know type music from like NBC playing. But you've been lovely to have on. So thank you. And I'm sure lots of people will reach out to you after seeing it and want to talk to you and Tammy about AI and the summit and MURTEC. And there's so many great things happening. We're going to see everybody in Vegas in March. And that sounds awesome. So, and everybody listening at home, thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, smoke signal. Not really,
Yeah,
but like,
we need more likes and more views and stuff so that we can pay Sam. Sam has to get paid. He does a great job.
We love when people rate us. We prefer 5 stars. But
Only
all those
5
things,
stars. We reject everything else.
yes. And then, like always, raise your hand if you want to come on the show too and reach out. We like to hear from people who have listened or are interested in chatting more. So thank you guys for listening. And this is Bite Sized and Bossy.
Bite Sized and Bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks. Inspiration coming